Welcome to Hubs and Drivers, a podcast for building product marketers, sponsored by BLD Marketing. I'm Jeff Donaldson, your host. Today's topic, CEUs as a marketing strategy. As a building products manufacturer, there are many ways for you to share your expertise, such that it benefits key target audiences, particularly and including architects. They are required to secure continuing education credits to maintain their certification in their profession. And if you, as a brand, develop a CEU, a continuing education unit, you can also use it to market your organization. Joining us for insight and perspective on this is Garrett Andrae, Creative Director here at BLD Marketing. Garrett, thanks for joining us. So let's talk about that CEU. For building products marketers, architects are often the primary target audience. What role can professional continuing education for architects play in a brand's marketing mix?
Yeah, Jeff, like you said, like many other professions, doctors, teachers, accountants, in most instances, the state or states in which you are licensed, they require the completion of a certain number of continuing education credits annually in order to maintain your license. So this perennial education requirement presents opportunities for building product manufacturers to be involved in the curriculum development and teaching, which in turn can be an opportunity to gain an audience with architects, to demonstrate thought leadership, to begin a lasting consultative relationship of value with an architectural firm, and to possibly uncover sales qualified project leads.
So continuing education courses and opportunities come in many forms. What are some of those formats that you often recommend for BLD Marketing's clients?
In the late 90s, building product manufacturers latched onto continuing education lunch and learns. And this is where the sales rep teaches a 40-minute course at a firm over the lunch hour. Architects love these because not only do they earn one credit hour, but they get a free box lunch courtesy of the manufacturer. This format is tremendously effective because it's face-to-face learning. It can really establish your sales reps as knowledgeable and trusted consultants rather than just widget pushers. You can set them up as experts in their category, someone an architect can go to for sound and accurate information or guidance.
So talk more about this idea of the sales rep being a trusted consultant.
This is something we've seen in AIA's architect surveys for years now. Architects need and want to interface with expert consultants, not salespeople. And this is only getting more pronounced because all the information you'll ever need is already on the internet. Nobody has time to take sales calls anymore. And there's been a cultural shift, as we know, where people just don't want to be sold in the traditional sense anymore. Right. Now, this doesn't mean you lose sight of sales opportunities. During the Lunch and Learn, you should be sure to leave time at the end of the course to promote your own product solutions and to ask if there are any projects on the boards at the firm that you could lend expertise to.
So let's talk about costs. Lunch and Learns obviously have a cost. They sound like they can probably get expensive.
Well, you have travel costs and the cost of lunch, but if you're working your territory, you're going to have travel costs regardless. To be able to directly offer courses, a manufacturer, you must also be a registered AIA continuing education provider, and there's a reasonable annual fee for this. One of the issues right now, of course, with Lunch and Learns is because of the pandemic, there are still firms who are not welcoming visitors just yet. And because of this, we're seeing Lunch and Learns move online to Teams or Zoom. And to encourage participation here, what you can do is offer cards to Panera, for example, or another lunch establishment to encourage participation.
So Lunch and Learn sound like a great opportunity, yet some remain critical of the format. Why is that? Talk a little bit more about that.
Well, the criticism we hear most often is that you end up with a room full of entry-level architects and interns who have no decision-making authority and who are just looking for a free lunch. But I think that manufacturers are short-sighted here because today it's these young architects who are actually being tasked with product research and sourcing, right. Not the principals. The principals are busy developing business, and it's right. Not the mid-levels because they're busy managing projects. If this is your concern, just remember, these youngsters are quickly becoming tomorrow's mid-levels and principles.
You're investing in the future in many ways. So trade publications offer continuing education architects that are sponsored by building product manufacturers. What about these?
This is another option. These courses are printed in magazines and served online on demand as click-through presentations or streaming video. And with these courses, the manufacturer is a course sponsor as opposed to a course provider. I don't think it makes much difference, as you can be an exclusive sponsor or co-sponsor with other, usually non-competitive companies. These courses can literally generate thousands of leads that you can import into your CRM and begin marketing to. But on the downside, there's no direct connection to an actual sales rep, so you lose that face-to-face connection.
So there's a little bit of a balancing act. In the lunch and learn or webinar format, there's more of a hybrid sales marketing benefit, whereas with the other formats, it's strictly a marketing benefit. Spell that out for us.
That's an accurate assessment, and in that regard, it's why I like all forms of continuing education. In any format, it's a chance to associate a brand with what's hopefully content that is useful to an architect's profession. They'll appreciate that.
So let's talk about the subject matter. What should a building product manufacturer teach in their course?
I would suggest teaching what you know. If you're a door company, develop a course on ADA requirements, for example, but try to be strategic. For example, AIA membership in most states require a certain number of health, safety, and welfare credits. So you might want to choose an HSW topic because architects need to take a greater number of these credits. So when we develop a course for our clients, we try to be very strategic when it comes to content, even in our course title, so that we're attracting as many architects as possible, and so that we're teaching, all of our teaching is pointing to a solution that our clients offer. What marketers should also think about is how to waterfall their content onto other platforms in their e-marketing and in their social initiatives as well. You took all this time to develop a great course, so it only makes sense to reuse as much content as possible.
So there are rules. You're not allowed to promote your brand in these courses. That's a no-no, right?
That is correct. It's strictly prohibited. But AIA CES does allow you to include your company name on the title slide and on the last slide. Although when we design a course for clients, we include all other permitted branding such as colors and typography, so there's a very strong brand reinforcement throughout the course. And you are allowed to promote your brand on either side of the course, like bookends, beginning and end.
Great discussion. Garrett Andrae, Creative Director here at BLD Marketing, on CEUs for architects. Thanks for joining us today.
Sure thing.
Well, there's certainly a demand for continuing education units. Consider this. The American Institute of Architects, or AIA, requires its members to complete 18 learning units each calendar year. As a brand, if you develop a CEU that is certified by an organization such as the AIA, you can give your brand quite a bit of visibility. Hey, is there a topic you'd like us to cover on Hubs and Drivers? Reach out to us. Email us at info@hubsanddriverspodcast.com. That's info@hubsanddriverspodcast.com. We'd love for you to subscribe to Hubs and Drivers if you like what you see and hear. Share it with your friends and colleagues as well. Have them subscribe to Hubs and Drivers on their favorite podcast platform. That's all for this edition of Hubs and Drivers. Join us next time. Thanks for being here.